MegaHerzzz. You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ.
You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ. Thank you for joining us today. You're joined in the studio today by me. My name is Charlotte and my pronouns are she, they.
My name is August and my pronouns are they, them.
And I'm Sarah and my pronouns are also they, them.
Great. And you've joined us, for MegaHerzzz. We are 4ZZZ's feminist and social justice show covering local issues and events and showcasing women and femme-led music. I would just like to acknowledge the Jaggera and Turrabul peoples as the sovereign owners of the unceded lands on which we live and broadcast here today. We would like to pay our respects to elders past, present and future. And we stand in solidarity with all First Nations people in the fight for justice. Today on the show, we're going to be getting into our Femicide report, as always. We are also going to be talking a little bit about a new article in The Guardian, talking about mentions of gender and the Queensland Office of Women.
Not mentions of gender.
Mentions of gender. We will get into that later. And then we've got a couple of gigs coming up later. Now we are here on MegaHerzzz. We have a commitment to report on the Femicide that happens every single week in Australia. We get all our information from Sherele Moody. Please follow her work. So just a little content warning for the next 5 minutes. We're going to be talking about that. Please take care of yourselves and turn off for a little bit if you need.
Yes, and also another content warning that this contains the name of an Indigenous woman who has been lost to violence. So if that is upsetting, please feel free to tune out for the next little bit. But we would like to remember Dejan, or otherwise known as DJ Baker Adams. Her family has said when Dejan was around, you knew that she was here. Police were in contact with Dejan Baker Adams before she was murdered at her home in Slacks Creek in Queensland. Her pleas for help and support were not answered, and which is what Dejan's mum, Patrice Power, told media. Dejan was killed on August 12th, and her partner, Ronald Cora, is charged with her murder. She is the 45th Australian woman to be killed this year. Last year, we lost 79 women to violence, and the year before, it was 106. And to make matters worse, police had confirmed that Dejan had spoken to them in the 10 days before her death. Police had said that the authorities knew Dejan was facing significant safety concerns and that they should have done more to keep her daughter safe. Queensland has one of the country's worst responses to domestic violence, and this is only magnified when Aboriginal women are at risk. And the dedicated domestic violence policing unit is gone, and funding for support services have been slashed, which just makes this whole situation so much worse. But her mother told media that as a person, she was very loving and caring and was a very individual person. When Dejan was around, you knew she was there. She knew what she wanted in life, and she was also very loving, forgiving, and giving, and she would help anyone out. But yes, rest in peace, Dejan Baker Adams. She matters.
If any of this was disturbing or if you feel like you need some professional support, you can call 1-800-RESPECT on 1-800-737-732. Just obviously devastating to hear, and especially I think it hits a little bit closer when it is closer to home in Queensland. I would just like to say thank you to the subscriber who subscribed just then from Royalist Underwood. Yeah, it's super important for you to keep supporting community radio so we can keep sharing these stories every single week when they are, not being shared by mainstream media.
100%.
MegaHerzzz
on 4ZZZ.
You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ. Thank you for tuning in. In this little segment, we wanted to talk today about an article by released by The Guardian Australia, written by Joe Hinchcliffe, and it was shared a couple of weeks ago on August 5th. So this article is titled Mentions of Gender Scrubbed from Queensland Office for Women website amid alleged effort to de-wokify. The article describes a disturbing practice that has been allegedly shared by current department staffers, previous department staffers for the Office of Women. The article says, Web archives from January show 6 prominently displayed references to gender equality or gender equal were removed from the Office for Women's About page, including from its mission statement that had said, "We're working towards a gender equal Queensland." A gender equal Queensland previously appeared as the first tab on the page's toolbar. The phrase also appeared in the first sentence of text and was used in the first dirt point describing the office's role. As of early August, no mention of gender appears on that page. Across the website, comparisons of archived and live pages show more than 20 mentions of gender were removed, including in reference to the gender pay gap. Some mentions of gender equality remain, including on the homepage. So this is pretty horrific. I'm confused as to how the word gender is considered to be too woke for a department literally dedicated to the progression of women in Queensland. The article continues and says that the former department staffers who contributed this information to The Guardian, who asked to remain anonymous, alleged that their managers relayed to them that the word gender should be obscured as it made the LNP think of the LGBTQIA+ community and they needed to dewokify.
Oh, man.
Interesting things. I think this is a really interesting concept that the LNP has allegedly linked the word gender with the LGBTQIA+ community. The fact is, everyone has a gender. Gender isn't just a trans issue. Everyone is affected by concepts and stereotypes of gender. Being a man is a gender. Being a woman is there's many different genders and way to be gendered that aren't to do with the LGBTQIA+ community. This is a concept that you see really often, and I remember discussing it in a unit I did at uni around gender, peace and security. So there's this kind of like pervasive idea that makes out that cis men are kind of like the default settings in society and everything else is different. So when you talk about gender issues, it becomes a woman and trans problem because men don't consider themselves to have any gender because they are like the default. Yeah. I then think it's even more crazy to me that there seems to be this shift, allegedly, from the LNP that says cis people are the default and then everything gender is now like trans and LGBT. It's a bit ridiculous. Yeah. What do you guys think?
It just feels it feels turfy.
Yes,
It feels very turfy. And there's another quote in here in this Guardian article that former department staff said that they had received internal requests to have the term gender scrubbed from much of the office's online portal, claiming they were told that the Minister for Women, Fiona Simpson, who is the member for Maroochydore, deemed the word gender to be on the nose and loaded, which is really peculiar because, like you said, everyone has a gender.
Everyone has a gender, and to be fair, it is a department dedicated to gender. No, like the Office for Women, I would say the main. I would say the main mission of that is to achieve gender equality, as it used to say, but it doesn't say that anymore, I think.
Yeah, and it's really it's just odd.
Yeah,
because it's like you're so like telling on yourself by like being like, oh, the word gender is too woke, because it's like, you clearly don't care about like gender issues. You clearly don't care about the thing that you have literally been assigned to do. Like, I don't know.
And I think it's that thing of like it's like transphobic cis people are like more obsessed with gender than like trans people. You know, like it's like they just see it everywhere.
There is a real element of plausible deniability in there though, which is, and I think that you're right when you're going, I smell turfiness here because it is in a way that you know, if you notice this, then, well, you're wrong for noticing, because how dare you care about all of semantics? How dare you care about this? Like, you're making a big deal about nothing.
That's been their whole defense here. Like, they had in their like response to it, they were like, some people are worried about the words from the website, but the Christopher government is focused on backing Queensland women. And it's like you said, it's so easily to be like, able to be like, you're just being silly. We're still doing the work.
Yeah, we're doing the real work. Like, you guys are the one who is stuck on semantics.
Like, no, but they mean things, and it's clear that you did this to not be associated with woke and gender and pronoun, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
which, and like, sure, for other departments maybe, but you would think the Office for Women, like, is that not an okay thing for you to be woke?
And I think that's a concern there as well, because it is the office of women. And so we are talking about, and they are now talking about, we're here for the betterment of women. We're here for, seeking grants for women. We're here for improving the financial status of women. And then you go, yeah, but why?
Yeah.
Why? And the reason is because, there are inequalities and that there are issues, but they're like, well, let's not mention those issues. We're not going to talk about those issues. So we're just saying, we're just here to make things nice for women.
Yeah.
And without that why, then, well, why are they there, and why is the government wasting money on this when there's no reason to be it's just special treatment, isn't it?
It's a real slippery slope.
It's just, we're making things nice for women because, well, it's just a nice thing to do. There's no actual reason to do that.
There's no strategic direction.
And so I do think that there is a risk that then, we can say, well, we don't actually need this. Where's the office for men?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we don't care about gender equality, then where's the office for men? We'll just do that as well.
Because that's not equal. Like, why aren't we doing things for men when we're doing things for women? And the reason is because there is currently, an inequality. But we don't want to talk about the inequality. We just want that to kind of go away.
Yeah. And it's like they have kept a couple of mentions, like as they say in the article, there's a couple of things. Because, I think it is hard. Because, as it mentions in the article, you can't really talk about the gender pay gap, which is part of the Office of Women. You cannot talk about that without saying the word gender. You can't be like, the pay gap that, the pay gap that women experience, blah, blah. So there's a couple of mentions throughout, but they did allegedly removed 20 mentions of gender across the whole website, and it's nowhere on the About page, so... Very interesting.
You're right. It actually is. Because I looked at the About page, I couldn't see any mention of it.
It's on the homepage. It says it twice, maybe.
There is. On the homepage, they are about 3/4 of the way down. We are taking action. Everyone has a part to play in achieving gender equality in Queensland. So they are still looking at gender equality, apparently.
But just don't talk about it as much. I don't know. It's very strange. And I also think things like, we don't want to confuse LGBT issues and women's issues. I think when you start saying things like that, it doesn't really make any sense to me, because at the very, very minimum, there are many LGBTQA+ women. That's a fact. It's an intersection of identities. You see this all the time in policies.
I wonder if it is a bit of an attack on intersectional thinking and intersectionality.
Yeah. Because when you start being like, well, there's women issues and then there's LGBT issues, you're not thinking, okay, so lesbian and bisexual women are women, and being LGBT is part of that. Yeah. I remember I did a policy review of domestic violence policies looking at specifically LGBT inclusion, and a lot of these policies would sort of say women face DV at this rate, but then lesbians or bisexual women face it at this rate. So they're sort of
separating the two. It's
they're these are normal women.
There's gay women and normal women.
There's gay women and there's normal women, and gay women cannot be included in normal women things because that is an LGBT issue, which doesn't make sense at all.
It's not.
It's a really interesting thought. Yeah. It's interesting to note that Fiona Simpson, who is the current Minister for Women, she does reject these claims. So she says the website was recently updated for the launch of Queensland's first economic security strategy, which was designed by Queensland women for Queensland women, she said. While some are worried about words and words, which we said before, the Christopher governor focused on backing Queensland women. And the Department of Women's Director General, Natalie Wild, has also stated that her portfolio continues to routinely review and update its web presence to improve the user experience for all Queenslanders. She says editorial changes to web copy are something that is very operational. It is approved and managed through my strategic communication unit and is done very much at a business level. Well, and I think that's an interesting point. If you're saying we're making these changes on a strategic and business perspective.
Because you want to... don't want people to think that you're woke.
Yeah. What is that strategy?
That's the strategic direction of the Office of Women.
Is that strategy? I think I need more time to sit with this, because it is quite confusing.
Yes.
And I think it's deliberately so. Yes. And on one hand, absolutely, websites need to be updated. Is there anything worse than an out of date website, out of date information? Absolutely, you've got to keep them updated. You have to make changes. You want to make sure that the information is current. You want to make sure that it's getting across what you want to get it across. And so there is that real plausible deniability here. But it's just what's so much about what's not being said.
Well, and I think that's why this article is important, because I don't think people would have noticed this, but this is specific departmental or previous departmental staffers coming out and saying we were instructed to do it for these reasons.
Yeah.
And I think, we were saying it's the reasoning behind it that I think is the really dangerous thing, and that is the really kind of like a little bit dystopian of like, strategic direction, we've got to make sure strategically we're not too woke in the, It's a very odd thing to do.
Just something that inherently isn't necessarily woke.
No.
Everybody has a gender.
Everyone has a gender. Straight men have genders.
Yes.
You have a gender. You're listening.
When did
probably
gender,
have a
the word gender, become a dirty word?
When?
And I guess, when we're talking gender critical, I'm so confused by the term gender critical. People are like, gender critical? I'm like, well, I'm absolutely critical of gender. I think gender's
That's why I'm not
absolutely made up. It's a made up thing. And it's, fair enough. Totally be critical of it. And my conclusion to that is, yes, be critical of gender. And then, you're free to have whatever gender you want because it is all made up. Go for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's what it means.
No.
I don't think
it's
that it
normally...
means that, I don't think what I think it means.
No, I think you're coming at it from what's the word? Like a good comprehension angle of like, yes, I have an understanding of the world and politics.
It's normally very turfy, right?
Yes. Gender critical is generally.
Yeah, they're just like, they want a
TERFs,
nicer word than turf.
Yeah, they're like, I'm not a TERF, I'm just critiquing trans women and I hate them. And you're like, well, that's what a TERF is.
And I think what it actually is supposed to stand for is that if you're gender critical, you're critical of the idea that gender is a thing. You're saying there is no gender, it's only biology, and so there is not. Which I'm
correct.
Well, I mean, in fact, no, gender. I think gender exists, absolutely, but I do think gender is made up.
Yes, it's like the stereotypes and the systems and everything rely on this idea of a binary gender, which we here maybe don't agree with. But to deny that is a fact in society is...
Yes. And I think that that's where they're going with that. And they're saying there is no separation of sex and gender. And, but there is.
And that's a scientific fact.
There,
that's not even like that's not even a woke thing. That's just science.
Is it made up? Yeah. Are gender roles made up? Yeah. Is the entire world as we experience it made up? Yes, it is.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that these things don't have impacts on your life, but it's a social construct. It's constructed and just reinforced by stuff
That's true. Jobs are social constructs.
Yeah.
But they do definitely have a real impact on your life.
It's it doesn't mean that something's not real if it's a social construct.
Yes.
It just means might not be tangible, but you still go and you do it. It interacts with your life. But
the article also says, so as well as removing many instances of the word gender, the recent revamp of the Office for Women's website has also included changing of its banner colour from purple to blue and stamping it with the slogan "Delivering for Queensland," both of which are associated with the LNP brand.
Oh, it's definitely LNP branded.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And the Centre for Public Integrity Director, Jeffrey Watson SC, has previously criticised such use of the logo across government departments and agencies as politicising the public service.
Is that a thing?
I think it's because...
Do all governments do that? Do they put their own stamp on it?
I think because things like the Office for Women are meant to kind of... I think they're meant to be focused on the same thing no matter what. No matter what the current government is and who's in charge. I think it's we've got the Office for Women. They do women's things. And that should be... That is a thing that exists regardless of who is in charge and what specific priorities they have. I think it's meant to be a separate thing, is what I'm gathering from that thing. Yeah, those aren't meant to be if you work in those departments, your jobs shouldn't technically be affected by changes in government because that's not really your boss. You're focused on the work of the office.
In theory.
Theoretically.
In theory.
Yes.
So I think that's why that criticism is coming from of politicising the public service. Same with Queensland Health. Hospitals are a thing that should exist no matter what and no matter who's in charge. Hospitals continue and nurses and doctors should just be doing their work as normal. It doesn't matter who's in charge. So I think that's where that comes from. And I think a lot of Queensland Health has had the same thing of
things
the
being
blue
cut.
alignment and
Yeah. I know that my dad works in Queensland Health, and I know the first day that Christopher Lee got in, they sent out a big email to at least everyone in his department. I don't know about the rest, being like, we're not going to cut from the public sector, we promise. And then
low-key they did.
Then they did. But, well, awkward.
Yeah, there's been a few whistleblowers, I think, who were like, they cut this thing, and they told everyone they wouldn't do it, but they did cut this thing.
Yeah. I mean, who's surprised, low-key? But
yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all, but, So,
still, guys, come on.
It's an interesting thing. So, yeah, if you want to read that article in full, you can find it on the Guardian website. It's called Mentions of Gender Scrubbed from Queensland Office for Women Amid Alleged Effort to De-wokify by Joe Hinchcliffe. You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ.
We have some upcoming events to tell you guys about.
Be a fun weekend.
Yes.
If you're going to go to all of these.
Quite an event, yeah. We have ones for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so your whole weekend is set. But this Friday, August 21st, some of our faves, Horrorboris, are playing an all-ages gig at Season 3, and you've got Who's Party, you've got Moi, you've got Undressed, you've got a ton of stuff happening, and it's set to be very exciting. They have said if you are a fan of shouty women playing music of varying genres, then this is the show for you. And we here at MegaHerzzz are very big fans of shouty
Who is
women.
not
You know what?
a
I think that
fan of
sounds like our
shouty women?
listeners as well.
Yeah, exactly. You guys get on down there. Undress are really great. Who's Party are awesome. Wow, awesome. And we love Horrorboris as well.
And how awesome that it's an all-ages gig. I think we need more all-ages gigs.
100%.
And under 18s need to hear more women shouting.
Absolutely. It's very important for your development.
Yes, definitely.
They do say make sure that you buy the special under 18 ticket if you are under 18.
True.
So make sure you do that so that you can go in if you are an underage person listening right now and want to go.
Yes, from memory, they don't let you buy under 18 tickets at the door.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that's their new policy at Season 3 of there now. So get onto that. Be organised, guys.
Okay.
And then on Saturday...
Be a good right mum or dad and educate your kids right
Bring 'em
and take them to an under 18s or all ages, because right mums and dads can also go.
Exactly.
Should also go.
Right,
It's a
aunties.
family event.
Exactly. And then keeping with the theme of being at Season 3...
Just spend the night.
Yeah, just spend the night. Sleepover. I reckon Nick and Josie would be fine with that. On Saturday, the 22nd of August, there is an evening of music put on by Joy and Whimsy. And also, I believe they have an art installation on as a part of this. This is part of their big celebration. They have multiple events happening from memory. They tend to do bigger ones with lots of different elements, but they've got an evening of music headlined by Mess-esque, who are a wonderful, I believe they're local, pretty sure they're local band.
I think they're all local bands.
Yeah. And also I'm pretty sure it's an acoustic set by Naki Soul, who is incredible. Saw Naki Soul opening for Wednesday, and she's just so good at what she does. She just has so much energy, and it's just it's so
Is it
good.
soul music?
No, it's like it gets into like screamo.
Okay,
yeah,
that sounds cool.
it's really fun. But yes, please go and watch. I'd be interested. I'm pretty sure I saw online that there was meant to be an acoustic set, so I'd be interested to see.
Acoustic screamo.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
I don't quite know how that's going to go, but it'll be awesome. And then Katie L. Bedford, Katie is so incredible. She's a part of Planar and has a couple different projects that she is in. She has an amazing voice, such a great musician. And the debut from the Joy and Whimsy band. Alice and Monty, who put on Joy and Whimsy, are so wonderful, and they are so talented, and it will be such a joyous night.
Because Joy and Whimsy is more of like an event
Yes,
brand,
yes.
right?
They
Like,
do a couple events a year, probably one every 2 or 3 months. And yeah, they are always a very fun time. They have all sorts of amazing local artists, musos, everything. But yeah, get on down there.
I'm excited to see that debut.
Definitely. And then on Sunday, the 23rd of August, in celebration of Wear It Purple Day, Gay Skate are hosting an event at Skateaway Albany Creek from 5 p.m. And they'll have a bunch of information stalls from LGBTQIA+ organizations, including Diverse Voices, Aunties, Transcend, Carers Queensland, Free Mums Hugs Australia, Trans Justice Meander, and Parents of Trans Kids Speak Out. And I read that and was like, oh my God, free mum hugs.
So sweet. And if you don't know what Wear It Purple is, like Wear It Purple Day is like a day that happens every year basically to show support for LGBT youth. So I think, yeah, that's a really awesome event to celebrate that.
Hell yes.
Again, take those kids from Friday, take them to the thing on Sunday as well.
Yeah,
that would
and
be so fun.
strap them skates on, skate around. I haven't gone roller skating forever.
Skateaway is really cool.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the Albany Creek one in a while, but they always do really cool like disco nights, and they do a lot of like event stuff there. They're cool.
Nice. Always a fun time. And then running on both the Saturday and the Sunday is also Practice Studio's 7th birthday, which is at 58 Fulcher Street in West End, and they're hosting a mix of workshops including pouch making with Ella from Baby Teeth. Oh, I love Ella. Drop-in sublimation printing with Holly Vanden. That's going to be awesome. Sublimation printing. Ooh!
We got a subscriber.
We got a subscriber.
Your name hasn't popped up, but I'll say it when it does. Yay, thank you.
Thank you to a subscriber. But yes, drop-in sublimation printing with Holly Vanden, repairs and alterations with Ava from Not So New, and a local designer Q&A with Ayla from, also known as, and Julia from Mobilias, which is very exciting. Both of them are so amazing. Also known as had a runway show not that long ago, and it looked insane. All the work from there, they're so cool. And Abelia's great little shop, also on Vulture Street in West End, making very cool clothes.
Repairs and alterations. Yeah. That's a pretty cool thing to have. That's very, very sustainable.
They said it's a drop-in thing, so you just bring in what you need, and I assume maybe they might show you how to do it, so you know what to do next time.
Even better.
It's pretty cool.
I know Practice Studio are kind of known to do some of that stuff. Ooh, another one.
I don't know if it's the same one. So the first subscriber, Cassandra from Mount Gravatt East. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cassandra.
We appreciate it. And maybe that was the second one.
Maybe.
Right after. Or maybe, that was Robert from Kangaroo Point. Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, Robert. Hell
Thanks for listening.
Cheers. But you can go to their Instagram at practice.studio to find out times and costs and all sorts of other fun stuff.
It's like a 2 whole day thing. So there's lots of different times and things that happen.
Yes.
So check them out and see.
You can hit up all those events and they'll all be awesome. We were looking at news to chat about, and we found out that it's a 60-year anniversary of Yoko Ono's performance, or one of her performances of Cut Piece, which is
60.
Yes.
60 years.
Yeah.
What?
This one that they're talking about.
That would be the
do we need to introduce
London.
who Yoko Ono is?
Yes.
The London. Do we need to tell you who Yoko Ono?
I'm sure people know.
She's an incredible artist.
Performance artist. Yeah. Japanese performance artist is Yoko Ono, who does a lot of music, experimental music, and a lot of performance art. And one of her most famous pieces was called Cut Piece, and that was a performance over a number of hours. It's actually she's redone it several times. So, but the gist of this is that she's in a space with a pair of scissors and invites the audience to participate, and they are allowed to cut her garment, basically. And it is a really interesting thing because, people there are no rules there. You can cut my garment, whatever it is. You don't have to cut my garment, but people do. And so the art itself is really that interaction between, she is standing there as a passive person, and you can choose to cut the garment or not. And I think something really interesting about this is that, she did the first one, I believe, in 1964 in Kyoto. And then took it to New York and did a repeat of the same thing. And I believe we are celebrating the 60th anniversary of the installation in London. But she also did it again in Paris in 2003. So that was 37 years after the London performance. And I think that we're talking about she would have been in her probably early 20s when she first started doing it. And so then you're looking at, what's that, another 40 years? So in her 60s, and I wonder what the difference is there for people going, okay, how do I feel about cutting up the garments of a 20-year-old versus how do I feel about cutting up the garments of a 60-year-old?
Really
and add to that also that, in the first, this is one of her first famous pieces. So people didn't know Yoko Ono at the time. And most people probably know who Yoko Ono is now, or at least by 2003. It seems that some people may have forgotten now. But in 2003, I think that you would have been hard pressed to not know. So so many elements happening there, and it has also been an installation that's been recreated by other artists. We know, like Peaches did
we
a
love
version.
Peaches, of course.
And also I was trying to get some information on. I know some other artists have done that as well, and just a really interesting thing. And so, it's the 60th anniversary.
Yeah. I believe someone called I'm looking at this article here. I believe someone called MPA, who is I think Los Angeles-based performance artist, is currently doing a recreation of it. And there's talk in here about, like you said, it's so contextual, and as much as like the art itself has been recreated because of how much it relies on audience participation, it's like different each time and like where people stop, and it's like all about your own like judgments on like what you think is okay to do.
I do love this chat, but I am going to have to cut it. But look
That's
up all
okay.
that if you want to hear more about it.
Yes, we've been MegaHerzzz.
We've been
We'll see you soon.
MegaHerzzz.
Isn't that what feminism is about?